In the city, which is parched, has less water, if you bring in species which are of moister climates, you need to give them more water and they will release more water. And that cycle impacts your withdrawal of water. Whereas in an arid landscape or a semi-arid landscape, plant is working towards the mechanism of conserving water. That how little it can take, how whatever it has taken, conserve it. So the leaves will be of certain kind, they become thick, succulent, or they are hairy, or they have thorns, or their stems are green. So planting right means that you need to plant the native species that have evolved to these semi-arid, arid conditions over millions of years. So they're adapted very well to this kind of a condition. When you plant native species, then you plant in various tiers. So a tree, understory tree, then shrubs, then climbers, then grasses, then ground covers. You have to think about all of that. My understanding is that cities should plant native trees. We'll have to create in the city corridors of wild spaces. There are entomologists who have studied that how native species are habitats for little bugs and insects and food for birds, if I put it like that. The studies show that a native species may have from 100 to 200 species of different kinds of insects and worms and bugs in it. Whereas an exotic species, one of the studies that I'm quoting, is about 8 to 10 species. I'll give you an example. There are many migrant birds that come from Central Asia. Many a times they fly really long days to come to a habitat. And in that habitat, if you only have exotic species, which is devoid of all the native smaller insects, bugs and all, they are going to perish because there is no food available there. And that's what landscaping has done to our cities. So that relationship we have to understand. City is not an island. It is built on ecology, built on biodiversity, and that we have to respect. So therefore it is important in the communities that we live, we should plant more native trees. If you create habitat, everything else fall in place. You'll get birds, you'll get jugnus, you'll get frogs, toads and whatnot. You will get everything around it. Yeah? And I think human connect with the wilderness is very important. We cannot live in isolation. So we'll have to have that connect with the wild. I think condos and communities, if they plant native species of the right ecology, then what they're doing is they're reducing the water that is going to be extracted or mined, I would say. So therefore planting right is very important. It should be a law that you should plant native because they are more resilient, they will thrive, and they will not need that much of water. Maybe it should be also made compulsory that every condo should have 30% green spaces and not just green as lip service, green as wilderness, green as biodiversity rich spaces. Maybe that should be the norm. Yeah.